Hey everybody, it's Kendra. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been here before. So my video today is going to be my 15-month celery juicing update. Yes. Yeah, I did a 4-month celery juicing video and an 8-month video. I did mean to do a 12-month celery juicing video, but we're kind of living in a lot of chaos right now, and I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. So yeah, we didn't get that one done in time, and I do apologize for not filming too much this summer. But yeah, anyway, that's gonna be my video today, all about like the health stuff I've noticed from celery juicing. I wanna briefly talk about the different juicers and blender that I have used to make celery juice, and also like a little bit about sourcing, like where I'm getting my celery from. So for the first 12 months that I did celery juicing, I was hardcore, super strict, 16 to 32 ounces every morning. There were 4 days that I missed, and the reason I missed those 4 days was basically because the first time I missed, I actually made the juice, but I had a migraine. Like I had a migraine from the night before, still had it when I got up. I thought the celery juice might help. I drank the celery juice, and 10 minutes later, I threw it back up. So I've learned that if I go to bed with a migraine and I wake up with it and I don't feel well, that I just don't force myself to celery juice because I know how my body reacts. So I think that's basically been why I missed those 4 days. Now, within the past 3 months this summer, I'd say in 3 months, I've maybe missed 4 or 5 times. Like, I definitely feel like I've gotten to that point where I'm like, okay, like my body is, functioning much better. If I miss a little bit here or there, it's okay. But I definitely notice the day after, I feel so grateful for celery juice, and I definitely feel so much better after I do drink it. Now, as far as the different juicers and methods I have used to make celery juice, when I first started this, I was using a Vitamix blender. I would just blend up my celery, and then I would squeeze it through a nut milk bag. So then after the Vitamix, I used a Jack LaLanne centrifugal juicer, which works totally well. I do want to point out, if you are using a centrifugal juicer, or actually a masticating juicer, I'd highly recommend putting a nut milk bag into the pulp bin, because there's always still a little bit of liquid left in the pulp, and you can squeeze it out and just get a little bit more juice. So I use my Jack LaLanne, so yeah, centrifugal juicer. Then I was actually sent a juicer from a brand called Tech Wellness. And that is kind of a smaller sort of masticating juicer. And I didn't expect much from it, just because like I had tried my Cuvings masticating juicer and I felt like that just got clogged up. So with the Tech one, it's a little bit of a smaller blender, or a smaller juicer. So I really had to chop the celery up in fairly small pieces. And it worked. It worked really well. So then I went back and tried that with my Cuvings masticating juicer, and I just cut the chunks up smaller. Works totally fine. So I would say, so yeah, I used the Tech one for a little bit this spring. Then I switched to my Cuvings masticating juicer. Now I'm back using the Tech juicer, just because it's a little bit easier to clean. There are it seems like there are fewer parts in this juicer than the Cuvings, but both work fine. I like the Tech one, but I do feel like it's good if you're just doing one thing. Like, it's totally fine for me just making my celery juice in the morning. If I do my celery juice and then I try to juice other stuff after, I feel like it gets a bit clogged up. But yeah, that's what I have used. You can totally use a blender. You can use a masticating juicer. You can use a centrifugal juicer. You have options for making your celery juice. Now, maybe you are watching this and thinking, gosh, I want to start making celery juice, but it seems like a huge time commitment. If I just make celery juice, it takes about 15 minutes to make and to clean the juicer up. Sometimes when I juice in the morning, I also have a citrus juicer, and I'll make grapefruit juice and orange juice. So if I do that and celery juice, all of that plus the cleanup is more like 30 minutes. But just for celery, usually it's about 15. Sometimes I will prep my celery in advance. I will usually prep, I've got like a pretty big storage, like food storage container that I can usually fit about 3 or 4 days worth of celery in there. So I'll cut off the ends, I'll wash it really well, put it in there, keep it in the fridge. I haven't been doing this recently just because our CSA is so plentiful right now and I just don't really have space in my fridge. But if I have space, I will prep it. One thing I do want to mention, I did try to chop up all the celery for, you know, like enough celery for like 3 or 4 days. I do not recommend that because after 2 or 3 days, the celery that's on the bottom just gets really slimy and gross and it goes bad and you can taste that in your juice. So I do recommend if you're gonna prep, just cut off the ends like and clean it, wash it really well, but don't actually chop it up. Like chop it up when you're about to juice it. Now, as far as sourcing celery, recently I've mainly been buying my celery from Costco. Costco has organic celery sticks in bags. I think it's like a 1.5 pound bag, maybe more, I don't remember. But I've been buying a case of that. So I'll get like a box with 10 bags of celery, and that usually lasts me at least like 10 days. One bag will make about 32 ounces of juice. So just depending like how I'm feeling and how much juice I want to make, I can make my celery last a few more days. So yeah, mainly Costco. I do think my local co-op has the best celery, but it's a little bit more expensive. But yeah, since I've started this journey, I feel like I've become kind of a connoisseur of the best tasting celery in my local area. Not all celery was created equal, and some yucky celery will make yucky tasting celery juice. Like the stuff I get from Costco, it's bright green, it's sweet, it's delicious. When I first started this, I thought this stuff tasted terrible. I thought celery juice was the grossest thing on the planet. Now I am totally fine with the flavor of it. So yeah, the co-op and Costco, totally my go-tos for celery. Okay, and now let's get into health stuff, because obviously that's the reason I started doing celery juice, and I think that's obviously why people do celery juice. So I feel like I'm still not at the point I want to be as far as like healing my body, but after 15 months, I feel so much better than how I felt 15 months ago. So I am so glad I did this, even though it can be a pain. It can be a pain to make it. It can be a pain to source the celery. Sometimes I'm just like, screw this, I don't want to do this anymore. But I'm really glad I have stuck with it. The main stuff I have noticed improvements with, first thing is definitely like my digestive system. I am someone who, I definitely get nauseous a lot, or at least I used to. I felt like before this, food would sit in my stomach and it wouldn't digest properly. I would have like acid reflux. I definitely felt constipated. I felt bloated a lot. And I feel like all of that is kind of normal now. Like I feel like that stuff's not normal. Like I feel like my body is back to normal. Like I don't have those things. Food does not sit in my stomach. It actually digests properly. I feel like I poop. And especially like if I don't poop before my celery juice, I definitely am pooping after my celery juice. But I know in the first video, I mentioned that for the first like week or two when I started celery juicing, I don't know where the poop was coming from. Like it just really cleaned me out. But after a couple weeks, that totally like regulated, and it was just like normal, nice poops every day. No constipation, no diarrhea, like nothing outrageous. So yeah, I feel like I'm not nauseous anymore. I'm not bloated. I have normal poops, and food just doesn't sit in my stomach anymore and just like rot. So digestively, I feel so much better. I definitely don't have as many headaches or migraines, and I usually feel like if I do have a migraine, it's because I ate something that my body doesn't like. Now, this is one thing I've really noticed during these 15 months of celery juicing, which is kind of a good and kind of a bad. I feel like because my body is like really cleaning itself out, my body has become very sensitive to specific foods, like so much so that like I'll throw up. Like if I eat something that I shouldn't, I'll throw up, or I'll get like a really bad migraine, or I'll just be super nauseous. So about a year ago, I want to say only after like 4 or 5 months of celery juicing, I noticed this started with meat. And I mean, you know me, like I bought a quarter cow like a year and a half ago. I really noticed it with chicken. Like I really like chicken. I used to eat chicken a lot, but I noticed there were a couple times that I ate chicken and I got a violent headache, super nauseous, and I threw up a couple times. So I really haven't eaten chicken probably since, it's probably been about 8 or 10 months and I haven't really had chicken. Beef I'm sometimes okay with, pork I'm sometimes okay with, but that's the thing, it's like sometimes I'll eat some and I'm fine. Another time I'll eat some and then I get sick. Or like if I don't throw up, I'll get a really wicked headache that'll last for like at least like 24 hours, but usually more like 48. So my body has definitely become very sensitive with meat. If I eat too much fat, same thing. Like if I eat too much fat, I feel it like in my liver gallbladder area. I just feel like I've pissed off those organs and like I'll get headachy again, like nauseous. But then the next day, when I have my celery juice, that definitely helps to deal with it. It helps to flush all that yucky stuff out. So yeah, I feel like my body has become rather sensitive, and it's like my body is just really letting me know that it's not happy. Like, don't eat this, don't eat that. So yeah, I don't consider myself a vegan by any means, but I'm definitely much more plant-based. Really the only like non-vegan thing I eat is sometimes a little bit of cheese. Actually, like recently it's been a lot of cheese, which is bad, which I know I need to stop. But it's cheese and it's yummy. But anyway, so that's kind of like the one thing that I still need to cut out. But I have to say, a year ago, if I ate cheese, I felt terrible, so sick, so miserable. Now, I feel like if I just have a small amount, I can tolerate it. But if I eat too much, then I definitely feel like my body lets me know. Okay, so yeah, digestively, definitely feel good. Food sensitivities, I feel like it's kind of calming down, but there are new things kind of creeping back up, and my body lets me know that it's not happy. My skin. So the skin on my face, I'm still kind of dealing with clearing out my skin. Like obviously I have makeup on today, so you can't really see it. But I used to get I have some blemishes like kind of by my chin right now, which I know is from the cheese. I know it is. But if I'm not eating cheese, like that whole area is pretty clean. In my 8-month video, I did mention that I was breaking out on my forehead a lot, which is still kind of the case, but not as bad. Like I feel like the right side of my face, the right side of my forehead is clearer. The left side still is kind of congested. But I feel like my skin has definitely improved a lot. Speaking of skin, I used to get little bumps on my arms called keratosis pilaris. I had that when I was 11. I started noticing my arms were bumpy at 11 years old. My arms are nice and smooth now. So that is one thing. And that actually happened pretty quickly with the celery juicing. Like I was like, whoa, why are my arms smooth? This is great. So yeah, I'm 35. For 24 years of my life, I had bumpy arms. And that was gone in like 4 or 5 months. So thanks celery juice, now I actually have like nice smooth arms. Like I sometimes do get like a bump here or there, but nothing like how it had been. Another thing that I'm not sure about if this has changed, my husband sometimes thinks that my eye color has changed. I used to think my eyes were brown, and my eyes were brown. They were like just a normal deep brown. But now I feel like they're kind of going between brown and green. And I know I have read accounts of people whose eye color has definitely changed as they detoxed and cleaned out their body. So I don't know, maybe I'll soon be like a green-eyed girl, who knows? Another thing, I do have a little patch of eczema on my middle finger here. It definitely gets worse like a week before I get my period, but this is better. Like this definitely was way worse like 15 months ago. So that's good. You know, like I just feel like there are certain skin things like this. I sometimes would get like psoriasis on my scalp. I don't really get that anymore. Yeah, so skin wise, I feel like I've definitely noticed improvements with that. And your skin, I believe, like your skin is your largest organ, and I believe it's your largest elimination organ. I think they consider your skin like an elimination organ. So like if you're all congested and backed up and stuff inside and you got funky stuff going on like digestively, you're gonna have skin problems. So I know I still have work to do and I still have stuff to clean out. So yeah, in general, I feel like my health has definitely improved a lot. And I think it's mainly from the celery juicing. Like obviously, like because I started celery juicing, there are certain things I don't really eat now because my body just reacts weird to them. The things I still kind of deal with, I still sometimes get headaches, migraines, not that often though. Like I feel like I have identified my triggers and I avoid them. And in general, I'm okay. The main thing I'm still dealing with that hopefully will just, you know, continue to improve as I continue to celery juice and do all these things, it all relates to energy. So like I definitely get very tired by the afternoon. Like I feel like in the morning I have, you know, a good like 4, 5, 6 hours of energy, but then I get kind of tired. But where I am now compared to where I was 15 months ago, I feel night and day difference. Like I actually feel just like a little bit happier, like more hopeful and optimistic. And I have to say, because of everything that's going on in the world right now, like ever since like January or February with the pandemic and like all the riots and just chaos, like politically and all this stuff, I am so glad that I started celery juicing when I did, because I feel like mentally I would be in a completely different place than I am right now. Like I still have my days, like there are days, trust me, that I like for a week, I was like, I cried every day this week because I was so stressed out about everything that was going on and just feeling so hopeless about the world. But I can't imagine how I would feel mentally if I had not started celery juicing when I had, and if I hadn't like done these things to help improve my health, because I really feel like part of the reason I'm able to like deal with this like very stressful time is because I had started to take these steps well in advance. So there you go. That is my 15-month celery juice update. If you guys are celery juicers, I would love to hear about your experience. What have you noticed physically, mentally, anything? How do you feel? I'm on 15 months and I plan to continue. This is not like just a fad for me. This is not a trend. I will continue to do this. I just hope it remains relatively easy enough for me to continue to source celery. So anywho, I hope you guys are doing great, staying healthy, staying sane, staying safe. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.